Good evening, darlings and deviants. My name is Lucy, and I'm just a little loony. So today, we're going to be doing what we did a couple weeks ago with Ravnica Remastered. We're going to be opening up a box of Karlov Manor. This time... Oh, nope, it's Karlov Manor. I forgot. I'm going to forget that for the rest of the time. It's Karlov Manor. We're going to open up a box of it, and then we're going to take the cards that we opened. And I have the decks that we built last time off to the side. I'll pull them in after we get everything opened up. And we'll make some swaps. We'll see if there's another legendary creature we want to build around. See what we want to work with there. That's not why people want to be here originally. People want to see me open this super fancy booster box of Karlov Manor, or as you say, to avoid being struck online, unaliving at Markov Mansion. So we have the box here, and the best way to open up a box like this is with a knife. So I'm going to open it up with this knife. Watcha! Open sesame. Howdy hi. Open it up. Ah. Be gone. Packaging. So I played in the pre-release last night. Play boosters are actually kind of sick. They offer up a lot of cool value. Like my pre-release pool ended up having like a bunch of rares in it. I think the total was like 16 or something. It was 16 total rares opened up from the pre-release pack. It was something insane there. I want to get all these out of here. Be gone, box. We have boosters, should be 36. The weird window. This is... Wait, what is this? Mystery file. The weird window. Draw a single continuous loop following along the edges of the window panes. The loop can't touch or cross itself at an intersection. The number of cracks within each pane indicates the number of that pane's edges that are part of the loop. The loop may contain any number of edges of panes without cracks, including none. So this is part of the fancy little ARG that they have going on with this set. I'm going to put that off to the side, and I will work on that later, because I do think it's the ARG is kind of interesting. I'm going to do what I can. We might look at it later if I have some time after the deck building stuff. So we have 36 packs. Let's get right on into it. Well, bam! First pack. I think it's really cool. I'm going to, hopefully the sound is good enough that I can make the video of this one. It's safest to take the art card and go this many, because I think this is where all of the spice is. So now, if we turn this over, it should be an uncommon, and we can go through the uncommons and commons that way. Aha! I was right. So here we have Sample Collector. Whenever it attacks. I'm not going to read all of these. I thought like, oh, I'm going to read all these. I'll read the rares and stuff. But like, there's so many words in all of these cards. I'll point it out if I think any of them are especially cool or cute. We have Sample Collector. We have Flotsam and Jetsam. I really like these kind of effects. Like, the split cards coming back are really cool. And Jetsam is just crazy. It being any spell is awesome. I would love a Massacre Girl. But I don't know if we can play Massacre Girl in Boxmander. We have a garbage bag this time. No, shoot, I didn't bring a garbage bag. But what I did bring is I have a pack of sleeves, so that when we open up some cool stuff, I'll have that ready to go. Caught red-handed. All of the spells that can't be countered, I think are really good in this limited format, because you would think the Ward 2 is not that big of a deal, but when everything has Ward 2, it becomes very obnoxious. We have some Benthic Criminologists. Unauthorized exit. They went that away. Goblin Mask Maker. Market Phantom. Riftburst Hellion. I think starting here should be where the spice is. Nope, one more. Yep. So once we get to the art card, we know the fancy stuff will here. This art card is for the Rod Farm Centipede. We have a basic full art land. I love this land art, by the way. Like, I think I'm gonna like the isometric stuff from the Fallout stuff more, but I love this, like, kind of like... People are like, oh, it's crowded, but, like, that's what Ravnica is. It's gonna be crowded. It's like a city. Okay, we have a foil Riftburst Hellion. We have Urzum Agency Chief. I kept wanting to say chef. 1, 2 white, and 2 blue. for a legendary creature Archon Detective. He's a 5/5 with flying. When he enters the battlefield, you investigate twice. You make 2 clue tokens. And you pay 1 and sacrifice an artifact. Ezram gains your choice of Vigilance, Lifelink, or Hexproof until end of turn. This guy is a house unlimited. I don't know if we'll build a deck around him, but I mean, that's not a bad effect. Like, if we could get enough Investigate and Clue synergies, I think we definitely tried this out. And Torch the Witness. I guess because you have to put 4 back because there's the chance of multiple rares. I will be sure to do that. Off to the side there. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that should be 100% safe. Case of the Filched Falcon. I like cases. Cases are kind of neat. Some of them are not as good as others, but that's probably how Magic design should work. Jaded Analysis. Shock. Shock, oddly enough, in limited now, not that good, because you want to kill disguised stuff with it, but you can't kill disguised stuff with Shock. You have to pay 2 mana, and if you're paying 3 mana for a Shock, it gets so much worse. But it does work on the stuff that it gets flipped face up, so it's an exchange there. Airtight Alibi, another Market Watch Phantom, the Shady Informant, Cerebral Confiscation. We have the tokens here. But Full Art Swamp. Ooh, love how these look, I gotta say. A Foil Project Inspector. Blood Splatter Analysis. It's black and red for an enchantment. Whenever it enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target creature an opponent controls. And whenever 1 or more creatures die, you mill a card and you put a Bloodstain counter on it. Then you sacrifice it if it has 5 or more Bloodstain counters on it. When you do, you return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I had 2 of these in pre-release last night, and they were very, very good. If we can play this in Box Commander, we're going to try. We have the Wrench. So I really like these equipments that are like their clues as well. The funny thing is, I think all of them are pretty good, with the exception of the blue one. The Candlestick is just awful. The Candlestick, all it does is let you surveil, which is not bad, but you have to attack. It doesn't give a big enough buff. It only costs 1 mana, I guess, but I think they all cost around, like, they're all pretty cheap, so not a huge fan. So we're gonna go 4. I think 3 would be safe, but I think 4, like, 3 would be okay, but this many is safe. Surveillance Monitor. Fuss and... I didn't know this one was called Fuss and Bother. I love, like I said, I love split cards. I love, like, the versatility they give you, both in Commander and in, like, a draft format. I don't think these are going to be good enough to see in, like, anything beyond that, but it could. Who knows? Jaded Analyst. Vengeful Creeper. Felonious Rage. Dramatic Accusation. Alley Assailant. Novice Inspector. Novice Inspector. Shady Informant. Basilica Stalker. I think this one's... No, that's not a reprint, but I think there is a similar name to it. So we have this human token, just completely innocent human lady. Ooh! Foil Full Art Island. I was like, okay, I like how these look. They're really great. The foils just look so amazing. I wish my camera quality was a little bit better to show it off, but like that, I love that so much. Oh, we have another foil, the Agency Coroner. 2 and black, sacrifice another creature, draw a card. If it was suspected, you draw 2 cards instead. I think this might be really good. I'm not sure. I haven't played any draft here. Judith! Ah! I love her. Judith is for 3, a black and a red, you get a 3/4 human shaman. Shaman's like a weird creature type because, like, you have, like, the Teamer Shamans, and then you have Judith, who is... I think she just does magic, but it's not like a wizard magic, so she gets the shaman type. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you choose 1. That spell gains Death Touch and Lifelink, which works how you think it does. It means any damage it does gives you life and kills any creature that it touches. Or you make a 2/2 red imp creature token with when it dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent, so it's 2 devils stapled together. I don't make my living hiding the truth, detective. I shout it from the stage. Big same, Judith, big same. And a Perimeter Enforcer. Yeah, so one of those could have been a rare, so I think I still need to keep doing 4 back. Also, there's the list slot, which I think one of those could have been, so better safe than sorry, in my opinion. As always, we want to keep the legendary creatures off to the side. I'm going to put them up here, because, you know, we're going to do some Box Commander building after this. Boop, boop. We got a Knife. Colvart Ambusher, Curious Inquiry, Dramatic Accusation. So this gives me the opportunity to talk about this style. So I think on one end that there's a little few too many border styles in this set. They have the this one for the story spotlight cards. They have the Ravnica art that we saw back in March of the Machine. And they have the one that's the new, like, kind of case file frame. I like this idea for the story spotlight stuff. I think they should have cut one of the other ones. I think the story spotlight cards should pop out and be like, hey, this is something you should look at if you care about lore at all. I love this art style. We have a Roosevelt Maverick, Roosevelt Braggart, Novice Inspector, a good color fixing card, Repeat Offender, Makeshift Binding. This is probably the best common in the set, I think. Like, there's no question. It's just kind of insane. We have a Clue token. We have we didn't get all full basic swamps. We have a Foil Shock. We have an Axebane Ferox. 2 green, 4/4, Death Touch Haste, Ward, Collect Evidence 4. It's better if you play it on curve or if you can play it out early, but by itself it's not amazing or anything. Like, I think it's good, definitely playable, but people are going to have Collect Evidence 4. That's not going to be too hard of an ask for some people. And a Leering Onlooker. I don't want anyone to be leering upon me. I prefer being watched adoringly, not leering. Oh, I just realized something, guys. I'm a dum-dum. So, my camera wasn't properly put on, you know? My camera that recorded my opening cards was working fine. My interdimensional camera, which let me actually, like, you know, be perceived by you guys, did not turn on. That's unfortunate. Oh well. Hello. Anyway, back to doing this. I'll just cut that out. I could cut that in post. I do intend to, like, edit this up and post it on YouTube. I wanted to do that with the last one, but unfortunately it didn't really work out too well. The audio was messed up, and I think I fixed it. I tested it beforehand, and it sounded like I fixed it. Anyway, Lightning Helix. This card's going to be really good in Constructed, Standard, Pioneer, that sort of thing. We have Rope. This card, insane. Like, it's 1 mana. It costs 3 to equip, and it's a little rough there. But +1/+2, and Reach is good by itself. But only being able to be blocked by 1 creature in this set is really fantastic. I got trounced by that last night. Insidious Roots. Creature tokens you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color. This card is also really good. Suspicious Detection, Detonation, Airtight Alibi, Hotshot Investigators, Galvanize. This is also okay. I think it's okay. It's not too great, because again, it can be countered, but on the job. We have the counters cut out. Saving these, because these are also apparently part of the panorama, and I don't want to cut anything out of it because I'm scared of that. And we have a basic plains. We have a foil Sumala Sentry. Whenever a face-down permanent you control is turned face up, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and a +1/+1 counter on this. That's a lot of counters very quickly. Reenact the Crime. Exile target non-land card in a graveyard that was put there from anywhere this turn. Copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. I like that a lot. I opened this in my pre-release pool last night. It was okay. Where have I been putting the rares? I've only opened these legendaries, so I'll put the rares down here. Boop. An Vengeful Tracker. Yeah, I completely forgot that, you know, the whole purpose of, you know, this entire thing is I am a VTuber. So you can, you know, see who I am. Alright, let's do that again. Let's do 3. Let's do 3 this time. See if it's, lets us finish on a dramatic finish. We have a Bullrack Clan Basher. Greenbelt Radical. Not on my watch. Utagazi Inspector. Pick your poison. Earbane Orangutan. Topiary Panther. Basic land cycling is back, and that's really good. This card will probably, like, see a lot of play in, like, limited and stuff. Makeshift Binding. First Hellion. Macabre Reconstruction. Market Watch Phantom. We got a Spirit. We got a Swamp. Got a foil rare Sharp-Eyed Rookie. It's 1 and a green for a 2/2 of Vigilance. When another creature enters, it has Evolve whenever another creature enters the battlefield. If its power or toughness is greater than Sharp-Eyed Rookie's power or toughness, it gets a +1/+1 counter, and you investigate. That makes it really good. We have Krinko, Baron of Tin Street. 3/3 with haste. Tap to sacrifice an artifact. Put a +1/+1 counter on each goblin you control. Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield that notably is not only yours, your opponents also count for that, I think. And if you do, you create a 1/1, you pay a red, and you can make a 1/1 red goblin creature token. It gains haste with that effect. Really like that. I think that Krinko is really good, but not for a pure goblin deck. I think you want to be playing like a sort of artifact-y, aristocratsy thing. We do 3, I think? No, that was 4. So we can do this. This is safe. This is safe. Oh. No, it's not! Dang it! Analyze the Pollen is a 1 green for a sorcery. As an additional cost that casts this spell, you may collect evidence 8. Search your library for a basic land card, but if evidence was collected, you instead search for a creature or a land card and you put that in your hand. That's what happened? Oh, we either have a million rares here or this is I messed it up. We have Analyze the Pollen. We have Hedge Maze, which is a forest island, which is good because we built that Sagana deck before. When it enters the battlefield, it enters tap, but when it enters the battlefield, you also surveil 1, and it notably has both forest and island as well. So that's going to be really good. We have a Fester Leech. Ooh. See, like I said, I like this one. Also, this card's insane. When it enters the battlefield, you investigate for a persuasive interrogators, and you sacrifice a clue. Target opponent gets 2 poison counters. That's really good. Because like you can just set up like all your clues being ready to be sacrificed. You want to go really heavy into investigate, and there's not a whole lot of ways to do it, but I think in draft this card's just going to go crazy. Chalk Outline, very funny. Benthic Criminologist, demand answers, like I said, love this frame. Reasonable Doubt, Tunnel Tipster, he's adorable and also really good because he makes it to where like if you are doing what the set wants you to do, which is disguising a bunch of stuff, he not only helps you give you extra mana to play around with that, but also he gives you the +1/+1 counters. He can get out of hand very quickly. Unscrupulous Agent, enters the battlefield, target opponent exiles a card from their hand. Brackish Scoundrel, Museum Night Watch, the best doggy token. Aww. Basic land, and Case of the Gorgon's Kiss. When this case enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target creature that was dealt damage this turn. 3 or more creatures were put into the graveyards from anywhere this turn to solve it. This case is a 4/4 Gorgon creature token with Death Touch and Lifelink. This one is probably one of the best because just 1 mana kill a thing sometimes is just good. And it helps you get around board. But also having a 1 mana creature later in the game is pretty good. Also, a 4/4 blocks basically everything in this set, and it also has Death Touch, so that super blocks everything. So we have to get, I think it's 4, because it's this one. This is the land, I think. This is, these are the 2 fancy slots. And this is the foil. So I think it's take 4 actual magic cards and put them in the back. Alright, that looks like it worked. Sanctuary Wall, Hedge Whisperer. Night Drinker, Mori, Neighborhood Guardian. I love this frame. And I love this art. That looks really nice. It's like the mix of the sketch frame and like a case file. I like that. Fanatical Strength. Person of Interest, Dramatic Accusation again. Sanguine Savior. Museum Night Watch. Extract a Confession. Art card for another Vanifar. I think we got 2. No, that's just the first one. Let's hope we get actual Vanifar. That'd be really nice. Forest. A card from the list! So this is another really cool, interesting way that, like, play boosters now affect the box bander thing. Because now we have access to a Frozen Tusker that we would not have gotten otherwise because this is from the list. Well, I think I would have probably opened set boosters, so that could have been a possibility. But I think the list is cool. We have Frozen Tusker. Where will I put that? It's a list card. I'll put it with the rares. Because we need to keep track of that, because I will definitely be playing it. Coerce to Kill. You control Enchanted Creature, but it is a 1/1 and it has Death Touch. This card is probably insane. Okay, so, well, first off, we have Incinerator of the Guilty. 4 red for a 6/6 flying triple. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may collect evidence X, where X is, and when you do, Incinerator of the Guilty deals X damage to each creature and each planeswalker that player controls. Very good, Dragon. So, what is the list? So the list is a special set of cards in the set. It used to be like something like 300, 400 cards long, but they shrunk it down to like 80 or so. And they have this little fancy Planeswalker symbol at the bottom here. They are cards from Magic's past that are printed as closely as possible to as they were originally printed, or some weird, strange printing that they weren't able to replicate somewhere. So here we have Frozen Tusker from... I don't remember what set this is from. When you cycle it, you may search your library for basic land card, reveal that card and you put it into your hand. Odyssey? It might be Odyssey. Let me look it up. I'm pulling it out on my phone. Oh wait, yeah, I have a chat that's not on stream. I could have asked one of you guys to do it. Whoops. Anyway, Frozen Tusker, really good. The list is like a bunch of weird cards that could come out, but they are printed originally. Now, there is another set of cards called Special Guests, which can appear. Hopefully we open one because a lot of them are really cool. They have brand new art, they're full art, and there's some really cracked cards in Magic. Like Gamble's one of them. Thrasios was one from last set from Ixalan. It's weird to see how those will affect draft because some of them are like really powerful, but so are a lot of bombs in modern Magic design. So who knows? We have 4. Shift that off to the back. We have a Glint Weaver, another Coerce to Kill, Polygraph Orb. I have not seen this card. Put the top 4 cards of your library, put 2 in your hand, and that just seems really good. 2 tap, collect evidence for each opponent loses 3 life unless they discard a card or sacrifice. This card's insane. The chase is on. Jaded Analyst. Slime against humanity, let's go! Let's put that one off to the side because that's a pop-off. We have an Alley Assailant. Oh, I should probably do this. If you haven't watched the newest video, you should probably go watch that. Slime against humanity is 2 and a green. For a sorcery, you make a 0/0 green ooze creature token with trample. You put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is 2 plus the total number of cards you own in exile and in your graveyard that are oozes or are named Slime against humanity. And the most important line of text on this: a deck can have any number of cards named Slime against humanity. We want as many of those as we can possibly get a hold of. Sanguine Savior, Due Diligence, Agency Coroner. We have the Add card. We have a full art Plains. Love how these look. I just love these so much. We have a foil Museum Night Watch. We have a Hunted Bone Brute. This is really cool because they're bringing back the Hunted mechanic. So Hunted was a thing back in like original Ravnica. They had a set of cards that were like this one, where they came into play. So Hunted Bone Brute, 2 and a black for 6/2 with Menace. Skeleton Beast. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent creates 2 1/1 white dog creature tokens. Whenever it dies, whenever this dies, each opponent loses 3 life. The funny thing about this one is you can disguise it, and if you flip it face up later, while it dies to shock more readily, your opponent doesn't get the 2 1/1s. So either play it for 3 for a huge 6/2 with Menace, but you have to deal with the 2 1/1s that your opponent has, or it can't really attack effectively. Or you disguise it and flip it up later to get a 6/2 for about 5 mana, but split over the course of 2 turns, and a cornered crow. So yeah, I think we have to do 4, otherwise it messes up. Yeah, I love cards in Commander that let you just like cheat legally. Just like, oh, you're not supposed to be able to do that in Commander. It's only one of. No. I get to do what I want. Case of the Gateway Express. This card's bad. Don't pick this in draft. It is not good. Because by the time, you want to kill morphs with, you want to kill like the disguises with it, but you can't kill the disguises with it even if you play a creature every turn. Because like if you go creature and then they disguise a creature. You Case of the Gateway Express. You try to kill it. It goes, well, you need 2 more mana for that. And it's like, oh, so I have to pay 4 mana for this kind of mediocre removal effect? Yeah. This is not that good. Evidence Examiner. Case of the Pilfered Proof. Whenever a detective enters the battlefield under your control, and whenever a detective you control is turned face up, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Detectives.deck. Sanitation Automation. Topiary Panther. Offender at Large. Crime Stopper Sprite. Rotform Mortipede Dog Walker. Griffnot tracker. We have the clue to... What is this? It's like a high heel? With the Nat Alley mugging case solved, maybe we can finally figure out who's been leaving shoes all over the 6th precinct. My Amelia impression's getting really good, huh? Anyway, mountain. Ooh, a foil pyrotechnic performer. 1 in a red for a 3/2 Viashino assassin with disguise for just 1 red. Whenever it or another creature you control is turned face up, that creature deals damage equal to its power to each opponent? Ooh, that's kind of insane. If that happened to me in draft, I would be sad. We have a rare Homicide Investigator, 1 in a black, whenever for a 2/2. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures you control die, investigate, it only triggers once per turn. That's probably just solid. It's not amazing or anything, but it's solid. And another rare, like, play boosters, so many rares. For 3 in a black, you get Barbed Servitor for an artifact creature construct 1/1. It has indestructible. When it enters the battlefield, suspect it, which means it has menace and can't block rather. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card and you lose a life. Whenever it's dealt damage, target... This card's insane. The Barbie doll? Oh, because it... Barbed Servitor? Okay. I get it. I see you. I see you, Smidgen Pigeon. I see you. We have Repulsive Mutation. This card's insane. Pompous Gadabout. Scene of the Crime. I love it. It's a clue land. This is adorable. I love that one. We have our Thinking Caps. Gotta put them on. Rebel Belt Braggart. Crime Stopper Sprite. Loxodon Eavesdropper. Granite Witness. Inside Source. Macabre Reconstruction. Also, I put the screen card. It goes all the way over there. We have Add card. We have Foil Basic Swamp. Womp. We have a Foil Neighborhood Guardian. We have Wojak Investigator, 2 in a white for a 2/4 with Flying and Vigilance. It's an Angel Detective. At the beginning of your upkeep, investigate once for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. Probably really good in Commander. I'm not sure if we'll be able to play it in our box Commander decks, because I don't know if we have a good white legendary. We have Ezra now, but I'm not too hype on playing him. Oh well. Speaking of a white commander, we have Teysa Opulent Oligarch. For 1, a white and a black, you get a 2/3 with Death Touch for a Human Advisor. At the beginning of your instep, investigate each opponent who lost life this turn. Whenever a clue you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you make a 1/1 white and black creature spirit token with Flying. This ability only triggers once each turn, but it's not during your turn, so you can like crack 1 during each of your opponent's turns, so it's not that bad. So I mean that's a pretty solid, combo there. So she's a legendary. We'll put her back up here. I think ideally what we want probably is the Niv Mizzet Guild Pack, because a 5 color commander is pretty solid if you're kind of trying to play all of the best cards that you open up. We have Undercity Eliminator, Concealed Weapon, Gleaming Gear Drake. I love this frame. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, more sacrifice these shenanigans. We have a Bubble Smuggler, Red Herring, Magnifying Glass, a reprint from way back in Shadows over Innistrad, when this first kind of investigating thing. We have the Deuce, Dog Walker. Ooh, I love this art of On the Job. Rod Farm Mortipede, another art card. We have Regular Mountain, Foil Gearbane Orangutan, Cryptex, the worst mana rock ever, probably? Because, you have to have cards in your graveyard that have mana value, so it can't really ramp you. It's weird. We'll probably still play it if we get the opportunity to, because, if you don't remember, we don't exactly have access to a lot of ramp. We have Karlov Watchdog. I think if we do end up playing Teysa, we have to play the Watchdog, even if it doesn't, fit in flavorfully. I mean, it fits in flavorfully, but, even if it's not, good mechanically, probably have to do that. Although it does work with the attacking with a bunch of creatures, so it might work. Who knows? 4 back. Breakout. Lead Pipe. I just love the names of these where it's just yeah, it's the Lead Pipe. That's what it is. Name, Lead Pipe. Profession, Lead Pipe. Pick your poison. Shot. Behind the Mask. Gadget Technician. Defenestrated Phantom. Defenestrated is a really interesting word. defenestrated. Snarling Gorehound, Escape Tunnel. This is really good. We want as many of these as we can get a hold of for our box commander stuff so that we can, you know, get the basic lands that we need. We have this, we have an art card for Deduce. Ooh, I love that. Forest. Foil Macabre Reconstruction. Doppelgang! Woo! Where's my doppelgangers at? For XXX green and a blue sorcery, for each of X target permanents, create X tokens that are copies of that permanent. I love things that make weird tokens, and this just makes a million of them. This is going immediately in my Lucia Kane deck. And a Long Goodbye, this will be first picked for a hot minute. Long Goodbye is 1 and a black for an instant. This spell can't be countered. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less. This spell can't be countered is very important. That means it is 2 mana to kill a warded thing, and sometimes that matters. However, if keep in mind, if they flip it face up and it is bigger than, you know, converted mana cost 3 or less, it doesn't happen. I know what defenestrate means. I don't know. It's weird. Was the ghost yeeted, or was somebody yeeted and this is his ghost? Questions that no one may know. Presumed dead. No more lies. Expose the culprit. Undercover. Almost said it. Undercover Crocodile. Not Crocodile. Very important. You'd think ghosts would be immune to a lot of stuff, like, you know, debts and debt slavery. But, you know, the Orzhov don't really care about such menial things, such as death and being not a slave and laws of physics. Nervous Gardener, Offender at Large, Extract Confession, make your move. Yeah, imagine dying and still having to go to work. Yeah, that's just the Orzhov. That's just being an member of the Orzhov. That's why you never catch me in that guild. We have an art card for... Speaking of the Orzhov dying, we have a mountain. Foil, make your move. Lamplight Phoenix, 1 and 2 red for a 3/3 with flying. When it dies, you may exile it and collect evidence 4. If you do, return Lamplight Phoenix to the battlefield tap. Very good. Because, like, as long as you have stuff, you'll always have a 3/3 flyer. Case of the Trampled Guardian, this card is very good. It lets you give counters, lets you attack in with counters more efficiently. It's pretty good. 4 cards. To the back, Denal the Sentry. Case of the Shattered Pack. This one will probably see play in our deck. Mostly because, like, it's just colorless gets us the land, so it's probably fine. It's not amazing or anything because it's only 5 colors if we open Niv Mizzet or something, but we might. Never know. Mana answer. Slimy gets humanity number 2. Let's go. Agency Coroner. Fancy Art of Makeshift Binding. Gravestone Strider. Alley Assailant. Clue Token. Island. Foil Public Thoroughfare. This one's probably fine to open. Like, we want, like, the lands that can tap for any color. Izoni, Center of the Web. For 4, a black and a green, you get a 5/4 Elf Detective. Everyone's a detective. Like, okay. So people complain about everyone on Ravnica being a detective now. Look, if a bunch of murders are happening right after a war, don't you think, like, the investigators would be, like, out in full force? Like, there's so many detectives because they don't have anybody left on Ravnica. Everyone died. So, like, yeah, everyone's a detective. They're looking for as many bodies as they can. There's not a lot of people left. She's a 5/4 with Menace. When she enters the battlefield or attacks, you may collect evidence 4. If you do, create 2/1 black and green spider creature tokens with Menace in reach. You can sacrifice 4 tokens of any kind, so that includes clue tokens, the little spiders that you get. You can surveil 2, draw 2 cards, gain 2 life. That's a pretty good one. And the Candlestick, like I was talking about, all it does, it gives +1/+1, surveil 2. You can sack it later. I don't like it. Slime. 2! Okay. Mist Waste by. Detective Satchel. Investigating twice is really good. Call a surprise witness. Turns out the case is fine. Like it is, like, you know, the Orzhov, death is an inconvenience at most. Bubble Smuggler, Out Cold, The Chase is On, Novice Gardener, Auspicious Arrival, Extract the Confession, Inside Source, Art Card of, a signed art card of Tristani. I like that. We have a regular island, full art, Gravestone Strider, Forensic Gadgeteer. For 2 and a blue, you get a 2/3 Vidalcan Artificer Detective with, whenever you cast an artifact spell, you investigate. That's good. Activated abilities of artifacts you control cost 1 less to activate. That includes clues. The effect can't reduce the mana that cost to cost less than 1. So you can only cost 1, but I mean, that's really good. And we have a Cryptic Coat. 2 and a blue, whenever it enters the battlefield, cloak the top part of your library. Then attach Cryptic Cloak to it. Cloaking is you take the top part of your deck, and you put it face down, and you equip the Cryptic Cloak to it. This +1/+0 and can't be blocked. And you can pay 1 and a blue to return Cryptic Cloak to its owner's hand. A notable thing about this equipment that I just sort of realized, it is manifest, but you get the ward 2 that Disguise gives you. Something I noticed about this, you can't re-equip this. You have to bounce it and then play it again. Which is probably fine, especially if you have something like Forensic Gadgeteer to work with that. With Ezram, we might have the workings of like a cool artifact deck. We'll need to see. We have a case file auditor. Enables the cases in limited and such. A crawl whip cracker. Fey flight. Sanitation automation. Regular public thoroughfare. Fanatical strength. Innocent bystander. Auspicious arrival. Slice from the shadows. Crowd control warden. We have the mysterious creature token. An island. A foil demand answers with a pretty angel woman. Prof's eidetic memory. 1 in a blue. For a legendary enchantment, when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. No maximum hand size. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've drawn more than 1 card this turn, you put X +1/+1 counters on target creature, where X is the number of cards you've drawn this turn, -1. That's kind of crack, actually. And we have that Sagana deck that puts counters on herself and draws cards. We also have Reckless Detective. I don't like this card that much. This is 2/3 when it attacks, but I guess it's fine if you have like an abundance of artifacts to sacrifice, but by itself, I'm not a huge fan. I will need to see how Draft comes out in this, because I think Draft is going to go... It's either going to be a really fast format, because like you can just like kind of curve out and you know when you've lost the game, or it's going to be really slow because they have a card that's basically just like, hey, if you have no cards in your library, you don't lose, and instead I get really big. And they don't typically put those at like uncommon unless they know that like people are gonna just like keep drawing their decks. We have Crime Novelist, which is a Goblin Bard for 1. That's 2 in a red. This card's just really good. You sacrifice an artifact, you put a +1/+1 counter on it, and then you add a red. Soul Search, when they reveal their hand, you may choose a non-land card from it. I said I wasn't reading this out. Frantic Scapegoat. That art just looks like... that's a red card. Fight Down on Crime. Project Inspector. Felonious Rage. Seasoned Consultant. Murder! There's been a murder at Karlov Manor. Shady Informant. Griffnot Tracker. Art card. Foil Planes. Foil Magnifying Glass. Lazav, Wearer of Faces. We already had the other Lazav, but yeah. For a blue and a black, you get a 2/3 Shapeshifter Detective. Whenever he attacks, exile target card from a graveyard and then investigate. And whenever you sacrifice a clue, you may have it become a copy of a creature exiled with it until end of turn. Probably fine. I can't really say much about it. I think he's like okay. It's like a 2/3 that can attack and investigate and exile stuff. I don't think you'll be caring about sacrificing the clue stuff that much with him. We have an exit specialist. Makes things unblockable. It's pretty good. Open a sesame. So I'm starting to think that if we don't open up Niv-Mizzet or like Vannifar or something, we may stick with like the Zagana deck that we have going on and put these Slimes Against Humanities in, because that's just extra counters and extra stuff and cool stuff like that. Harried Dronesmith. Deadly Complication. Destroy target creature, or put a +1/+1 counter on a suspected creature you control. Lockstone Eavesdropper. Innocent Bystander. Reasonable Doubt. Vengeful Creeper. Toxin Analysis. Escape Tunnel. Hazada Vigilante. Basilica Stalker. We have the Punch-Out card. Forest. Crime Stopper Sprite. Ill-Timed Explosion. For 2, a blue and a red, you get a sorcery. Draw 2 cards. Then you discard 2 cards. When you do, Ill-Timed Explosion deals X damage to each creature, where X is the greatest value among cards discarded this way. This is very, very good. Case of the Gorgon's Kiss, again. Ill-Timed Explosion is just really good because it is a Wrath in blue-red. Blue-red doesn't really get a lot of, like, really Wrath-style effects that are cheap. And this one, it depends on what you discard, but if you're playing this, you know you want to discard something big. Will be pretty good in Myra, I think. Furtive Courier. Case of the Burning Masks. Wisp Drinker Vampire. They went that away. Oh, wait, they went this way. The chase is on. Deduce. Riftburst Hellion. Due Diligence. Murder! Auspicious Arrival. Art card. Mountain. 10 Street Gossip. It has vigilance and it helps you flip disguise cards face up. Case of the Locked Hothouse. For 3 and a green, you may play an additional land on each of your turns. That's good. To solve, you control 7 more lands. That's really easy to do. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may play lands and cast creature spells and enchantment spells from the top of your library. That's pretty nuts. In an Absolving Lamassu. Okay. We are, I think, about halfway through now. We haven't opened anything like super crazy, I don't think. We opened the 1 mythic and a couple multi-rare packs, but I want to see something insane. I want to see a Case of the Filched Falcon. Not this fine. Soul Innervation, another Cease and Desist, Suspicious Detonation, Robot Maverick, Red Herring, Lockstone Eavesdropper, Vigilante, Stop Token. We have a Full Art Mountain. I think that's the set. I think we have an island, we have a mountain, a plains, and we have a swamp and a forest. Okay, so we've had it for a while, but another good mountain. I like it. Person of Interest. Case of the Uneaten Feast. 1 white, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. This is going to go Brazy and Karlov. To solve, you've gained 5 or more life this turn. Sacrifice this case. Creature cards in your graveyard gain. You may cast this card from your graveyard until end of turn. We mostly care about that first effect in Karlov, so who knows? We may update him instead of making a Tesa deck. It all depends. Oh, let's go back. A hard-hitting question. Clandestine Meddler. Curious Cadaver. Convenient Target. Vengeful Creeper. Person of Interest. Cold Case Cracker. Hazada Vigilante. Toxin Analysis. Fairy Snoop. Goblin Token. Full Art Swamp. Death Cloud. For X in black sorcery, each player loses X life, then discards X cards from his or her hand, then sacrifices X creatures, then sacrifices X lands. If you have played against a Turgid player, you are very familiar with this card. The Stank Cloud, yep. I don't know if we'll end up playing it in anything, but it is a good reset button. Foil Fanatical Strength. And we got a Massacre Girl! Let's go! She's a 2 black for a 4/4 legendary human assassin with menace. Creatures you control have Wither. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. She's very good. I don't know if we'll be able to play her in Boxbander, because I don't know if we have enough black cards to justify it. But I really want to because she is very hot. Oh, wait, we opened up the regular Massacre Girl too. That is a consideration. Maybe. Or 10 Street Gossip, Hustle and Bustle, Soul Innervation, Undercover Crocodile, Galvanize, Unauthorized Exit, Magnifying Glass, Catch Ignition, Defenestrated Phantom, Silhouette from the Shadow, Art Card, Foil Swamp. Ooh, very pretty. Rebel Belt Braggart, Relive the Past, 5 a green and a white for a sorcery. Return up to 1 target artifact card, up to 1 target land card, and up to 1 target non-aura enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. They are 5/5 elemental creatures in addition to their types. So 7 mana for 15 power? Not that bad. And a Flourishing Bloomkin. This is ramp. It may not seem like ramp, but it's ramp. Eventually, you gotta have enough force to make it work, but, you know, we gotta go 4. We have a Wrench. Branch of Itugazi. Buried in the Garden. It just doesn't add up. Reasonable Doubt. Person of Interest. Behind the Mask. Gryphonaut Tracker. Unscrupulous Agent. Dog Walker. We have a Blue Token. We have an Island. Yo, we got there! Holy crap. Oh my god. This is... So, when I was talking about the special guest cards, this is one of them. And it's the one I mentioned before. Gamble. So Gamble is 1 red for a sorcery. You search your library for a card. Any card. Put that card into your hand, and then you discard a card at random, and then you shuffle. This card is insane. And it's worth a lot of money. So we're gonna get the sleeve. And I'm gonna... I probably haven't opened up that many cards that are worth value, so I think I'll just get like a normal sleeve. I don't need to open up a box of stuff yet. But still. Okay. We also have a foil Hotshot Investigators. Drag the Canal. For a blue and a black, you instant. Oh, she's like 15? What the f? I keep saying I'm not gonna swear. But I have a nasty mouth, I'm sorry. For a blue and a black instant, you create a 2/2 white and blue detective creature token. If a creature died this turn, then you gain 2 life, surveil 2, and investigate. This card does so much for 2 mana in 1 card. I just don't know how good it is. It's hard to tell, like, do you only cast when there's a creature? Do you have to cast it if you have tempo? Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to these questions. Oh. We're gonna put her up here. Speaking of a token, we just got the 2/2 Investigator token I saw. We have an Essence of Antiquity. We have Push and Pull. We have Whisper Drinker Vampire, Thinking Cat, Galvanize, Topiary Panther, Unauthorized Exit, Make Your Move, Broadform Millipede, Escape Tunnel, the Detective Token, a Swamp, a Foil Form Familiar, and we have Deadly Cover-Up. So this one is interesting. I want to read this. I haven't read the retranslation of this, but the French translation lets you get rid of basic lands. So I wonder if that's the case still. For 3, a black and a black, you get a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may collect Evidence 6. Destroy all creatures. All the creatures. If evidence was collected, exile a card from an opponent's graveyard. Then search its owner's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card exiled. This can hit lands! This can hit lands! Why? Why can't it hit lands? Oh, and we got a Raucous Theater. Swamp Mountain. Enter the battlefield tap. Surveil 1. Very good. Yeah, like, If your opponent has sacrificed literally any, like if they've discarded any, like if they discarded an island or they discarded a mountain, you then go, okay, I'm going to wipe the board and also remove all of the basics from your deck. I hope you played enough. That just seems mean. And it's a Wrath, so I think you still play it in Commander even. Like, you do have to collect Evidence 6, but like, yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. That's not going to be too hard to hit. I'm terrified of that card. Agency Outfitter, Rune Brand Juggler, Magnetic. We got the Schnuffler. The Schnuffler. We have an Undercover Crocodile, Rubble Belt Braggart, Fight Down on Crime, Public Thoroughfare, On the Job, Murder, Gravestone Strider, Goblin. Yeah, it's a damnation for one more that sometimes just blows out a monocolored deck. Sudden Setback, the owner target a spell or non-land permanent puts in the top bottom of the library. I really like this card. War Leader's Call. It is 1 a red and a white for an enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. We stapled 2 really good effects onto each other. Yeet. Okay. 4. What? I put 4 back, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this means this pack is loaded, guys. This pack is loaded. Underground Mortuary. It's one of those surveil lands, but it's the Overgrown Tomb typing. Overgrown Tomb. Forensic Researcher. A Killer. Sus! Among Us! Among Us! It's fun. Like, it's still funny, right? That's a lie. Among Us is super old. Nobody thinks it's funny anymore. We have a Snarling Gorehound. We have an art card. Swamp. Mystery Key. This is really funny. So, it's 1 in a blue from the list. It's from the D&D set a year or so back. It's 1 to equip, and whenever the creature deals combat damage to the player, you can draw 3 cards. So it's like a 3 mana draw 3 cards sometimes, maybe? I'm not a huge fan of this card. A foil explodes the culprit. Oh. This art in foil, it's so pretty. I love this so much. Lost in the Maze. X in a blue. When you're in the battlefield, tap X target creatures. You put a stun counter on each of those creatures, and your tapped creatures have hexproof. That's not too bad. I'm still looking for the Nymph Visit. I think the Nymph Visit would make us one of the best decks that we could open with this. We have a Sudden Setback. Aftermath Analyst. Meddling Youths. I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling youths. A Goblin Mask Maker. Project Inspector. Granted Witness. Make your move. Unscrupulous Agent. Art card of. I don't know what that is. Crawlwick Cracker. Plains. Foil Alley Assailant. Tolsimir Midnight's Light. For 2, a green, and 2 white, you get a Elf Scout with 3/2 with lifelink. Near the battlefield, you create Vosja Finstalker, a legendary 5/5 green and white wolf creature token with trample. Whenever a wolf you control attacks, if Tolsimir attack this combat, target creature an opponent controls blocks that wolf this combat if able. And he has lifelink. And we have a Form Familiar. More cats for the cat deck. Now that probably doesn't see play in the cat deck. It's not that good. I go. We have a Private Eye with flavor text from everyone's favorite Graham Stark. Yep, it's a face, alright. Slimy Dual Leech. Eliminate the impossible. Fight down on crime. Felonious Rage. Out cold. Pick your poison. Brackish Scoundrel. Inside Source. Repeat Offender. Detective Token. Full Art Island. Topiary Panther. Assemble the players. For 1 and a white, you get an enchantment. You may look at the top part of your library at any time. Once per turn, you may cast a creature spell with power 2 or less from the top of your library. So, fun fact about this. It does let you cast morphs and disguises. Technically, It's a little weird how they let you do it. But it's safe to say, like, the reason that you can do it is because your opponent doesn't know that the card that you're casting face down has mana value X or more. So since your power is 2 or more, by the time your opponent knows about it, it's fine. Weird. And we have 10th District Hero. I don't understand this art. She has armor and a fedora, and they didn't make Mileva a legendary creature, and I'm upset about it. For 1 and a white, you get a 2/3 human. 1 and a white, collect evidence 2. She becomes a human detective with base power and toughness 4/4, engaged vigilance. For 2 and a white and collect evidence 4, if she is a detective, it becomes a legendary creature named Mileva the Stalwart. It has base power and toughness 5/5, and it gains other creatures you control have indestructible. They should have just made her a legendary creature, but they didn't, because Wizards doesn't like women. We're just gonna leave that hanging. Put these back. Buried in the garden. Burden of proof. It just doesn't add up. Suspicious detonation. Behind the mask. Red herring. Cold case cracker. Novice inspector. Granite witness. Art card. Foil mountain. Foil rubber belt maverick. Treacherous greed. For 1, a white and a black, you get an instant. You can either sacrifice a creature that dealt damage this turn. You draw 3 cards, each opponent loses 3 life, and you gain 3 life. You have to pay that spell. You have to sacrifice a creature that dealt damage this turn. This card is probably just really good. Ooh, we got a Thundering Calls for the blue-red deck. So I think... Ah! Begone! Rappers! Begone! I'm gonna put these off to the side because we only have about 5 left, and I would rather not. Do y'all like this pack ASMR? Put these in the box that I threw on the ground. Oh, it had me in a weird position. Ah, hello, I'm back. Hello. Exactly. You gotta... Okay, I'm not gonna talk about pulling things. Current events make that a little hard. We're going to put those in the back. Essence of Antiquity. Branch of Itogazi. Fuss and Bother. Rubber Belt Maverick. European Orangutan. They went this way. Seasoned Consultant. Agency Coroner. Rackish Scoundrel. Defenestrated Phantom. Art card of Case File Auditor. Foil Island. Ooh, and a foil Meticulous Archive. Oh, these look really pretty in foil. It's the Azorius one. Connecting the dots for 1 and a red. Enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks, exile the top part of your library face down. You can't look at it. It says explicitly you can't look at it. 1 and a red. Discard your hand, sacrifice it, put all cards exiled with it into their owner's hands. It's fine. Provid Haunch. So let's see, what am I looking for? Another special guest card would be rad. One of the more valuable list cards would be cool. And we're always looking for Dim Visit. That card's just kind of insane. We have Push and Pull, Misway Spy, Call a Surprise Witness, Bubble Smuggler, Demand Answers, Project Inspector, Tunnel Tipster, Snarling Gorehound, Sanguine Savior, Due Diligence, Ad card, Mountain, Foil Makeshift Binding. We have Tristani 3 Whispers. For a green, a white, and a Selesnya hybrid, which means green or white, you get a 4/4 Dryad with 3 abilities. 1 and a green, target creature gains Death Touch until end of turn. Green and a white, target creature gains Vigilance until end of turn. 2 and a white, target creature gains Double Strike until end of turn. I won't lie. I am very tempted for us to build this Tristani because all of these target creature things are things that you can give to your opponents. So, let's say, like, you know, your opponent's attacking in, they're about to take, like, they're like, I can take 10, it's fine. Then you give it Double Strike, and they're suddenly taking, 15, 20 damage. So, this could possibly just be crazy. I'm really tempted for us to build around this. And we got another Sharp-Eyed Rookie. It's not bad, but I would probably rather play it in a different deck. I would rather a different brand. We have Exactly. Group hug where you hand your opponent brass knuckles. We have a ruined brand juggler. We have an agency outfitter. We have a case file version of magnetic schnuffler. We have a sanitation automation. We have a goblin mask maker. Hotshot investigators. A third Slime Against Humanity. Let's go. A cerebral confiscation. Crowd control warden. Museum night watch. Art card. Planes. Innocent bystander foil. Unyielding gatekeeper is a rare. 1 and a white for a 3/2. When it is turned face up, exile target non-land permanent. If you controlled it, you return it to the battlefield. Otherwise, its controller creates a 2/2 white and blue detect creature token, and it has disguise, and you flip it up for 1 and a white. Not that bad. We have a commercial district. Wait, why is the commercial district green and red? I don't know how that one works. I don't think the gruel would be akin to commerce. I don't know why. They don't seem the type to like money. We have 4 here. We have Detective Satchel, Bullrat Clan Basher, Not on My Watch, Offender at Large, Cold Case Cracker, Fanatical Strength, Slice from the Shadows, Fairy Snoop, Zada Vigilante, Toxin Analysis, The Opter, Island, Boyle Sanguine Savior, Doorkeeper Thrall. For 1 and a white, you get a 1/2 with Flash Flying. Artifacts and creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. This card will probably be a very big nuisance for other people, but also could cause problems for you. And we got Leyline of the Guild Pack, not the 5-color card I wanted to open. I don't like this card. It is 4 green, or you can pay a white, a blue, a black, and a red for any one of those green manas. If it's in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. Each non-land permanent you control is all colors, and lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. So if we do open Niv Mizzet in these final 2 packs, I will play this card because I think that's what we need. But if we don't, we literally not only can't play it, but also just the fact of I don't think it's that good in general. Might be the hot take that I'm putting out there onto the internet, but I don't think it's that good. We have Surveillance Monitor, Cornered Crook, Persuasive Interrogators. The Leyline is $8? What are you talking about? What are people doing? What are we doing in Magic the Gathering nowadays? It can share a sleeve with Gamble. I know that's a card that I'm going to be trying to sell off, because I don't think that card should be $8. Magnifying Glass, Crime Stopper Sprite, Gadget Technician, Griffnod Tracker, Unscrupulous Agent, a Mysterious Creature, Forest, Candlestick, Assassin's Trophy. That's a really good one. Black and green, this is a reprint. Instant, destroy target permanent an opponent controls. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card and put it in the battlefield, then shuffle. Ooh, and we got a Lush Portico. So, we have opened so many of these lands. I really hope we get the, we get Niv Mizzet so we can build a 5-color deck, actually. That'd be really swell. We have... Okay, we're gonna have a 6th back of the pack because we opened to another rare, another Raucous Theater. We have a Karlov Watchdog, Perimeter Enforcer, Shulk Outline, Airtight Alibi, Shark, Deduce, Dog Walker, Make Your Move, Broad Farm Mortipede. We have a Clue Token. We have a Swamp. Whoo, boy! Fabricate Special Guest. First off, this is beautiful. For 2 and a blue, it's a sorcery. You search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it to your hand, then shuffle. I don't know if it's worth that much money, but it's look how pretty it is. It's so pretty. We have a foil Undercity Eliminator and Officious Interrogation. Spell costs blue and white more to cast for each target beyond the first. You choose any number of target players, investigate X times, where the X is the number of creatures those players control. I think that qualifies as get the sleeve behavior. But I have run out of sleeves because I don't want to open these katanas. I might as well open them up. I'll have to use them anyway. Yeah. Open. Okay. Boop, boop. Okay. first off, banish the rest of these packs. And let us take the Karlov Manor challenge box and mark off murders at Karlov Manor. I think next up we'll be looking at Fallout. I don't know why I didn't put that on here on the box. I don't know why I didn't put Fallout on here. Probably gonna go here. But I need to do that because that's where that plans on going. Okay, so let's clean this up a bit as I talk a little bit about what we're doing next. So,